don't mind me looking like a sponge or whatever I look like, but I'm kind of comfortable. Okay, we're gonna stop with the accent because it's killing my neck. I don't know how they are related, but also I don't know why I'm in a hood right now. It's really hot in here, but I've just decided to put on hoodie because I don't know why. I wanted to talk about the movies that I recently watched because May and the ending of April this year was like a lot of cool movies. I will put spoiler alert before talking about spoilers, so you are in the free zone. Basically challengers. Like, is it top 5 movies I've watched in my life? Yes. Oh man, when I tell you that I kind of the first time. That's why Zendaya says that it's better to watch it 2 or 3 times, because the first time I watched it, I was so confused. I was like, what's going on? Why are they all like... There's nothing like... That was my opinion the first time I watched it. Not like quite like that. There's nothing like... But I was so confused. And the second time I watched it, I'm like, I see what you're doing there, Art. I see what you're doing there. Smart. A little sneaky. Smart. I feel like... Spoiler alert. I feel like Tashi, she just loved tennis, you know? And there was a scene in a hotel where there was Tashi and there was Patrick and there was Art. And when Patrick was telling Tashi the story of how he taught Art to, you know, if you have watched the movie, you know. And when Patrick was telling the story, he was looking at Art all time, and he was just maybe for a few brief seconds look at Tashi. And the second time I watched it, I caught it when Art started talking to Tashi, when the Patrick ended telling the story. Patrick was like all this time telling the story like, yeah, and we were like thinking about the same girl, and like, yeah, and like looking at Art and like smiling or whatever. And when Art started talking to Tashi, Patrick's expression changed from like, yeah, and like smiling and whatever, to like... Man was jealous, you know? And then there was a scene when they were in Stanford and they were getting these Cheerios or whatever they called. And before Art sits down, Patrick pulls in his chair closer to him. Before he sits down, you know. My theory pretty much is the same theory that everyone has on the internet, is that Tashi loved tennis, but because of her injury, she could not play tennis. So she married Art, who likes the idea of Tashi. He loves her. He loves the idea of her. He loves that he gets to make Patrick jealous because she's with him, and Patrick just loves Art. And whatever he did with Tashi, maybe he had feelings, but most of all, he tried to make her jealous. And also, I read this original script. I read the script written to this play, and there was a scene, there was something there sad, and I even actually posted in my Instagram story. And Art said to Tashi before the tournament with Patrick, when they were 30 or whatever, the last tournament where the whole like basically film is based on. And he said,
I can't help but feel like that when we step onto the court tomorrow, we're all gonna be 17 again. You think you're still playing for my number? And Art says, I've been playing for your number for 15 years. And Tashi says, we have kids together.
So the next movie I want to talk about is The Idea of You. And like, it was so interesting because we see like celebrities, younger women and older men date all the time, or just, you know, date like random people, celebrities, you know, date random people. Help me. In the end, I said I'm gonna cry. I'm just like, but then I'm like, oh, I'm so happy. And I don't know, they say that it's based on Harry Styles' relationship, some kind of thing, but I don't see it. Maybe I know a little about Harry Styles, but I don't see it. Also, I should really stop doing this accent. Nevertheless, I like this. I like the movie.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they...
I like this. I liked the movie Movie was fun. Movie was amazing. If you're wondering what I'm looking at my mosquito net and how freaking flies go through my mosquito net if I checked it a million times. I'm gonna write a complaint to the store I bought mosquito net. Okay. Nevertheless, I don't really have much to talk to about that movie. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know why I look so serious here and don't just emotionless, because I was kicking and screaming the whole time I was watching this movie. I was giggling maybe for half an hour of this movie, straight giggling, straight blushing. I don't know, I'm just like, I don't know what I have to talk about. Shut up.
Then The Turtles All the Way Down. I remember I bought my friend a book on her birthday. She wanted to read it, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read it too. It was something about Millionaire. I don't really remember anything much of it. But when I watched the movie, it was just like, it's so cool. Like, it's so cool. Such a great movie though. She has OCD. I think a lot of people read that book, so it's not really a surprise what's gonna happen. But like, what got me in the end is when
Spoiler alert.
they kind of broke up. They haven't dated, and she just sits there and they saying goodbye to each other, and she sits there near him and she says, in love, you can never be in hope, in friendship, and anything else, but you can only be in love. And he sits next to her and like, girl, I'm gonna go before I never leave you, you know? And she cries to her friend like, will I ever love again? And she's like, yeah, you will love again. And there are clips of her like getting married, having children, doing all that, and not with him. And I'm like, okay. Did I cry after that movie? Yeah. The next, I think, unrelated movie I watched was Red Riding Hood. It was released 13 years ago, I guess, and such a fun movie, you know. I don't know, it was such a plot twist. It was such a plot twist because, spoiler alert, through that movie, there was like, not spoiler alert, wait, in that movie you need to choose, you know, they need to figure out who the wolf is, because the wolf is turns into human and they kill and they, whoa, and there's the main character who, of course, only that character can speak with a wolf, but she can never tell anyone because they will consider her a witch. But she told her friend, and who knows? Her friend outed her because what are friends for? If they don't support you, they out you. That's cute. That's nice. Nevertheless, she outed her, and they're like, "Oh, you're a witch." And that wolf said,
I will only leave these people alone if you're gonna go with me.
and she's like, "No, I'm not gonna go with you." And I'm like, stupid, go with them. And people forced her to go with them, and there were two boys that were in love with her, but she only loved one of them and was forced to marry the other. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna go with you. And then she suspects two of those boys, and then she suspected that, and she has this dream, and then she goes to her grandma's house, and plot twist, I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Also, I watched The Beautiful Things. Beautiful Things. Very strange movie. I don't know, I haven't, like, it's interesting, yeah. Maybe like 4. I mean, there were interesting moments, but the fact that she... Spoiler alert. No, spoiler alert. She erases his memory, and then he comes home and, like, talking to his, like, I don't know, father's friend, and she's like, I invited her to Christmas. He's like, no, that would be weird. I don't even talk to her at school. She's very weird. And she stands there and like, and I don't understand. Did they, in the end, he had recollected that memory? Was it? Did he? Because I haven't, maybe I'm not sophisticated enough to get that kind of movie. Wasn't that hard of a movie, but like, whatever. Also, I picked up a grey book, Talking at Night, I think it is. It's kind of similar to One Day, or One Day, or what is that movie? What is that? Normal Conversations? Normal People, and One Day. It's very similar. People on TikTok say By far, I'm on a page 80 and it's the cutest thing ever.
It's me from a future, and I want to say that yes, I've read this book by this moment already, and this is actually similar to One Day and Normal People by the way that all of those couples should have just in the middle of the book just sit and talk, go to therapy, or just drink a cup of tea and like talk. But overall, 5 out of 5.
Especially, okay, I'm not gonna give away, but like it's very cute. It's very cute. Basically, it's about Will and Rosie. He's 18, she's 17, and they're in high school in Britain. So that's where I got my British accent from. Sure. So I've been in church today. I mean, I haven't gone to church in like 1 year. So it was very great experience. Love people, love people. Also, some lady sat on my skirt today, and I couldn't move properly. But you know, it was for like 20 minutes, and I'm just like, sure, whatever. I'm in forgiving mood. I'm in church. You know, that would be very immature of me to just like, sit down. You were sitting on my skirt. No, I was in church. I was on my best behavior ever.